Hi guys, today we're going to talk about holding space. What the heck is that? Have you ever walked into some place where it's just felt comfortable? Walked into a metaphysical shop and just felt at ease, or a friend's home where you've just felt like you could fall asleep or you could divulge your deepest, darkest secrets. Chances are, if you've had that experience, you've walked into some place where a space has been held, an environment has been created so that it brings forth and emits and evokes is really the word I want to use, evokes some of those feelings within a person. I do this all the time. When it's in my professional life, I do this in my office, I do this in my classes. In my office, I want people to feel comfortable. When they walk through that door, I want them to feel at ease, ready to receive anything that's going to be coming their way, so that they're able to cry, they're able to laugh, they're able to heal and receive closure. In my classes, I want people to walk in and be engaged. I want them to feel comfortable where they can share, ask questions, do some of the exercises, be silly and have fun. And it's something when I'm creating these spaces, I do this energetically, but I also do it by what I bring into the space. In my office, the best compliment I could have received from my friend was when she walked in, she said, "Dawn, you know what? This is like walking into your living room. This is like coming into your home and it just being comfortable." In my classes, I do this by setting the stage right at the get-go by saying, you know what? Ask questions. I'm just one of you. And it's something where I also set up the room so that I'm not standing at a podium talking. I'm part of a circle and at the same level as everybody else. That creates that environment that holds that space and lets people know that this is the intention, and it just sets it up for a good time. I do this at home with my husband and my daughter all the time. For my daughter, my greatest desire is that she has a stability. She knows that my husband and I love her, that she's able to explore the world independently without fear that she's going to disappoint us, without fear of what's going to happen if she makes a mistake. I do this by letting her explore. There's very few things she gets yelled at for, except for when she's doing something she specifically knows she should not. But she's a child and she needs to develop, she needs to grow. And I see when she goes about and she makes her choices, she has a good time with it. She also is demonstrating that independence and that stability that she is gaining, and that when I take her to my mom or my aunts and she's going to have a good time, she's walking in and she's already saying bye. The other day I had to laugh. We were at my mom's and my daughter goes up to her my mom, her grandmother, and says, "Come on." And she's taking her hand and she's dragging her off. And my mom turns to her and says, "Well, just wait a few minutes until your mom and dad go." And she turns and looks at my husband and I and says, "Bye-bye." If that doesn't demonstrate stability, I don't know what does. It also demonstrates my mom does an incredible time of creating her own space and creating that environment that my daughter knows she's going to have a good time. She knows she's going to be a little spoiled, both in that my mom's going to be playing with her all day, and there's always a goodie waiting for her, but there's that environment that has been created. This is something that happens, and we all do this. It could happen when you're walking into an environment at work where there is an expert who comes in and is working with you, for example, on a strategic plan or on a brainstorming session, and this expert can all of a sudden elicit and bring out these brilliant ideas in you and your teammates that you may not even have realized existed. They have an ability to create that space, bring it forth, and help individuals really become the best that they possibly can be. Creating the space is easy. It starts with intent, and it starts with doing little things that you can recognize that can help bring the space together. Like I was talking about in the professional setting when I'm in the class, I set everything up in a circle. In my office, as I mentioned, I have, it's like walking into my living room. I have 2 couches. At home, as I mentioned, it's something where I don't yell. If I need to scold, it is in a tone where it's explaining and always bringing forth what is good about the situation and then giving the criticism afterwards. It is something where if you think about that expert who is coming in and is helping brainstorm and bring out these brilliant ideas, very often they don't dismiss anything. In every situation, it's coming forth with the sense of love. If you're coming forth into an environment with love and intent, you can do nothing but hold that space. You can do this in silly ways of burning incense or burning candles. If you're looking for a gentle, quiet place, perhaps dim the lights or have water flowing in the background. It all depends on what works for you. As I said, holding space goes hand in hand with creating that space. The only difference is very often this will come from the heart and come from you. And also, I am certain you are doing this all the time, but the more mindful you are of it, the better it becomes. One thing to make note of is that it can be draining at times. And if you do feel as though someone is taking too much energy from you, perhaps, and you're adding too much of that energy into the space, perhaps just take a step back and think about what it is that you want to get out of that. Holding space is also about putting the ego aside and just letting the energies and pure love come through. It's not about ego. It's not about pride. It's not about getting the pat on the shoulder. Quite honestly, holding space isn't about you. It's about creating that environment of love. So if you're finding yourself being a little too drained, it may be because you are giving a little bit too much of yourself. And ask yourself, what is it you're getting out of it? And then once you do, very often you'll find that you're not as drained any longer. So that's my take on holding space. I hope it makes sense to all of you. Do go and create that space with the intent for yourself and your loved ones. So if you like what you're seeing, please, please, please subscribe to my channel and share with all of your friends. If there's topics you'd love to see covered in the future, put them in the comments below or shoot me an email or Facebook message and I'll be sure to cover it in a future video. Thanks so much for watching, guys!